All right. Gonna do something a little bit different today than my typical live stuff. But I just got this cool new AI tool, so I wanted to put it to good use and share a little bit of a market update for Pinetop, Arizona. So if you're interested in the real estate market, I think there's a lot of good information in here just for overall real estate trends, but today I'm going to be speaking specifically on the Pinetop, Arizona real estate market. So I had my little fun AI tool do a 12-month deep dive of all of the data as far as, what homes are selling for, average time on market, all that good stuff. So I just think this is a tremendous opportunity when I was looking at the data myself. So figured I'd jump on here and share it with all of you. So if you have any questions on any of this, feel free to just pop them in the chat. I am Braden Hatch, your friendly neighborhood loan officer, also a licensed real estate agent here in Arizona. And yeah, I think we just have a tremendous opportunity on our hands right now, specifically in the Pinetop, Arizona market. And we'll get into it in just a moment, but good stuff. All right. So like I mentioned, the Pinetop, so Pinetop is in the White Mountains of Arizona. It is a phenomenal little spot, especially right now. Like Arizona is seeing some of the biggest heat waves we've seen this early on in a long time. Like we got up over 100 degrees last week in March. So it is, it's heating up and people are looking for places to cool down. And luckily you don't even have to leave the state of Arizona. There is a phenomenal little spot in the White Mountains of Arizona. Specifically going to be talking about Pinetop today. So I did a real deep dive of just, the last year worth of data on the MLS. And if you don't know what the MLS is, it's what real estate agents use to list homes for sale, search for homes that people are looking to buy. Basically is, the one-stop shop for all the homes available for sale that are using a real estate agent. Doesn't mean this is all of them. Obviously, people can sell their own house. You can do for sale by owner. But this has a good chunk of the data because this is where the majority of people do sell and buy their homes, is through the MLS. So let's dive in the numbers. Let's see what it's looking like. So let me just jump onto this next one here. So here's a quick market snapshot, right? So Pinetop is leaning into a buyer's market right now. It is the inventory is outpacing the demand by a decent margin. So we've got, let's see, median sold price is at $511,000, and the homes are sitting on average for about 72 days on the market. So those are all the signs that this is leaning towards a buyer market. Good opportunity for home buyers to purchase in Pinetop right now. This one I found pretty interesting. 96% list to sale ratio. So that means that people that are listing their homes are selling it for the most part. So 96% of the homes listed on the MLS in Pinetop are getting sold. And then the average price per square foot is $329 per square foot. So I think that's definitely higher than the national average, but this is just what the data is showing us currently for the market of Pinetop. Good spot right now. And Pinetop is generally, you kind of get two different things in Pinetop, right? So a lot of people purchase homes there for like a second home. So something that they can, vacation in, maybe turn it into a short-term rental. I have experience in this realm. Luckily, I actually currently have a home for sale in Pinetop. I previously used it as a second home, a great place to escape the heat in the summertime and enjoy some awesome winter activities in the wintertime. So I'm a huge snowboarder. I actually grew up near the White Mountains of Arizona, not in the actual White Mountains. I grew up in Holbrook, Arizona. But Pinetop was always our getaway. Anytime we want to go snowboarding, we hit up Sunrise. I've actually featured Sunrise Ski Resort on a video for my little television show gig that I had going there. So yeah, I love this area, and honestly, it was such a great cabin to have. You know, it's kind of served its purpose. I'm no longer using it the way I was before, and I think it's time for somebody else to enjoy it. So I'm actually priced pretty well under that average price per square foot. So I'd be happy to share details. I know on my main TikTok page there is other information regarding the property. But yeah, I'd love to get that thing into a new home. And it cash flowed extremely well as an Airbnb. So again, for you home buyers that are either looking for a second home or an investment property, there is just a massive opportunity in Pinetop right now. And I'm going to get into it in just a second here. So here's kind of the quick market snapshot. Let's dive a little deeper into this. So Pinetop is definitely one of those seasonal markets, right? When most homes are sold is during that spring and summer buying season. So the summer peak is what we call it. And then you have the winter dip. So right now with us kind of, we just hit springtime, what happens is the sales tend to spike in July and August. That valley heat, people get sick of it. We're tired of the 120-degree days that we have. And so people really start to look seriously in the Pinetop area because they're still sitting, in the summertime, 70, 80 degrees. Sometimes it gets up to 90, sometimes in the hundreds, but it's pretty rare. Like the cabin that I own, like literally we don't even have air conditioning in there. We've never had to use it. There's maybe 2 to 3 days out of the entire year where I wish we had it. But if you just hang on and wait till the sun goes down, you open up all those windows and the house cools off right away. So something we do not have in the summertime in the valley. You open your windows at night, it's just another heat wave. So, this is a great little opportunity because right now, let's see here. So 12 closings were in July and the median hit 607,000. Whereas in the winter, it was only about 2 to 3 sales per month and prices fell to between 290 and 365. So the wintertime in Pinetop is definitely a good time to buy, but that's when most people aren't, right? There's just not on their mind. So right now, again, we're right in that season where those homeowners or those people that are listing properties for sale in the winter, maybe they've been sitting for 6 months, 7 months, however many days on market, they're looking to get that thing sold. And so you can go in now and offer a good price, negotiate a little bit better, maybe ask for some seller concessions to buy that interest rate down. I know that's one of the other ones. So this is one of my unique value adds as somebody who is both a real estate agent and a lender. I can talk to home prices, but I also have the lending side of things. So I like to share one of the strategies that my buyers are using right now, which is instead of asking for a price reduction, which in most cases, if you're going to ask for like a $10,000 to $20,000 price reduction, you're going to get maybe $100 to $200 off on that monthly payment with interest rates the way that they're sitting. But if you get a little strategic and you use that money a little bit better, you ask the seller for a $10,000 or $20,000 seller credit, right? So they're still having to lower the price on their end, but instead of just dropping the price, we keep the price the same and we ask for a credit. The reason why you want to do that is because of interest rates right now. So you can go in and you can use that $10,000 credit, that $20,000 credit, and you can use that money for an interest rate buy down. So that'll buy your interest rate down by sometimes, 1-2%. And that gets you into a much more manageable monthly payment that lasts for the life of the loan instead of just a one-time deal on the price. So again, it all comes down to what you're looking for. Most people are monthly payment sensitive, unless you're paying cash, unless you are, buying properties right and left. Most people that are purchasing homes right now are very, very focused on what that monthly payment is going to be for the mortgage. So this is a great opportunity because right now sellers are willing to pay that, right? Think back to 2020, 2021 when home sales just went nuts and interest rates were just insanely low. If you went in and asked for any sort of price reduction, any sort of seller credit, they told you to pound sand. Like, it wasn't even a conversation, because they knew that there were 20, 30 other people lined up ready to pay what they were asking for, if not more. We saw bidding wars, and this drove home prices up. That's what low interest rates do, because people are so focused on that monthly payment. Whereas now, with interest rates being on the higher end, which I still laugh at, because honestly, they're historically very, very low. If you're curious on what today's interest rates are, you can go to the link in my bio, and there's just a link right there that says today's interest rates. I'm not going to ask for your information, although there is a spot for you to put it in there. You scroll down and it'll share with you what today's average interest rates are, and it updates just like the market. So if you're curious, you don't want to talk to anybody, you just want to see what rates are, you can do so right within the link in my bio. I try to give as much information as I possibly can to be helpful. But right now, I'm telling you, if you are focused on that interest rate, which really just means you have a higher monthly payment, right? Higher interest rate means you're going to have a higher monthly payment. So if you're smart and you strategize this a little bit better, and you go in and ask for a large seller credit, you can use that money to buy your interest rate down significantly. The other thing you can do is you can do a temporary interest rate buy down. So there's something called a 3-2-1 or a 2-1 buy down. So what that one does, let me just share the 2-1 example. A 2-1 buy down means we're buying the interest rate down by 2%. So whatever the current market rate is as of right now, if you did a 2-1 buy down, it would take that market rate and minus it by 2, so 2% less for the first year. Now, it's only for the first year. Now, don't get these confused with adjustable rate loans. That's not what these are. These are 30-year fixed rates. You can do 15-year, 20-year, but they are fixed rate loans. We're talking about a temporary interest rate buy down. So what that does is that allows you to have a very, very low monthly payment for that first year. And so on a 2-1 example, interest rate's 2% lower than the market rate for the first year. And then in year 2, it's 1% lower. So this is perfect for those of you that are waiting for interest rates to drop. So what if interest rates do drop next year? Well, guess what? You got in at a lower price because home values are still increasing. The price is going up every single month, every single year. That's just data. That's what it shows us. Although there's some little, there's some price reductions here and there. The overall data, the overall trends as far as the median prices is we are seeing appreciation in homes year over year. And so you can get in at a lower price, pay a lower monthly payment, and then in year 2, if and when interest rates do drop, well, you can just refinance that bad boy and take the lower rate anyway, except now you just got it at a discount. So that's the power of a 2-1 buy down, or buying the interest rate down with a large seller credit. And sellers are saying yes to that right now. So I'm telling you, this is a huge, awesome opportunity. So let's get into a little bit more of the data here in Pinetop. So this is what I'm talking about, right? Everybody says buy the dip. We've all heard that in the stock market, in real estate. You buy when things are low. Pinetop's low right now, and it almost always bounces back. If you look at the data, it always bounces back. It's just we're in that dip season, the winter months, right? Because it's such a seasonal area. This is the opportunity that we have. So the median sales price swung dramatically over the past year. Dip is real, and the spring rebound is historically reliable, especially with Pinetop. I'm telling you, looked at years and years of data on this thing. But prices dropped 22% from summer peaks. Spring of 26 rebound is likely coming, right? So as you can see, we're already starting to see a little bit of a jump. So buyers are entering now. So catch the dip. This is it. This is your sign. I personally bought my cabin up there seasonally as well. I bought it in the month of April. And then prices almost skyrocketed after that. So I got it at a massive discount because I timed it correctly, right? You can't always time the market. But I'm telling you, if you're thinking about a second home, if you're thinking about an investment property, if you're looking to buy in Pinetop, Arizona, now is a phenomenal time because that's what the data shows us. So don't miss out. Don't wait for the summer when their prices are going to tick back up. All right, so let's talk about this 26% ask versus sell gap, right? What does that mean? So this is a big deal, okay? So right now, sellers are trying to get top dollar for their property. But on average, If you look at the median list price compared to the median sold price, that's a pretty big difference in number, right? So the sellers are basically asking, on average, I want $624,700 for this home. But on average, what buyers are actually paying, what they're actually closing on, is $459,000. That's a 26% gap, right? So what does this mean? This means that there's some leverage right now. There's some opportunity for home buyers that are trying to get in at a good deal. It's a $165,000 gap. That's not a small amount of money, right? This is 26% below market asking. But again, this is not something that lasts forever in this type of market in Pinetop. In any market, that kind of spread will signal motivated sellers and patient buyers. But we don't know how much longer it's going to last because we're about to enter into that summer peak like I showed previously. So don't miss out on this. This is a big deal. If you're looking to purchase a home, your gap is closing. Your window is closing. All right, let's keep getting into it here. So let's look at the price distribution breakdown. So, most of the activity is concentrated under 500K, right? So that there are luxury properties, but the market for luxury homes is a thinner market, right? It is, right? That's why they call people in the top 1%. Those are the people that can afford those homes. And so the majority of the activity is going to be homes listed less than $500,000. So we look here under 500,000, boom. Yep. Most activity is right there. So we have active listings compared to closed sales. I don't know why they're both in yellow. Come on now. Why did I screw that up on my on my little chart here? So it's going to be the bigger number is going to be the active listings, and then the smaller one is going to be the closed sales. And this is just within the past 12 months. So as you can see, the ones that are under 500, there's a lot more activity compared to the ones that are priced higher than that. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Don't think I need to go too much more into that. All right. So our inventory signal, what does this mean? Buyer's market. So in real estate, we do this thing where we see if it's a balanced market, if it's a seller's market, if it's a buyer's market. Well, all that means is it's a combination of the supply versus the demand, like I showed you on the previous slide there. So that just means that there are more homes than there is demand right now. So that represents a buyer's market. This is an opportunity where, it's standard economics, right? When there's a lot of something and not that many people want that something, that's how you can get the price lower. That's how prices drop. That's what runs the economy. Very classic supply and demand. So right now we have about 5.5 months worth of inventory on the market. As of right now, as of today, there are 34 active listings on the current market. So that's 34 total homes for sale. That's still not a ton of homes, but again, the demand for the area is a little bit less than that. And then you've got market competitiveness score, which comes in at a 35. Again, that is just a firm number for buyer's market. There are only currently 5 homes under contract right now. Sellers are motivated. Absorption is slow. It's the leverage that you guys have been waiting for. If you're a home buyer, this is it. This is exactly the type of market that you want to be purchasing in. All signs point to this is a great opportunity for Pinetop right now before it gets crazy in the summer. Because year over year, these things go up. All right, let's take a look at it. All right. So this is more of an insight for real estate agents, but I think it's also very helpful for anybody thinking about buying or selling in the Pinetop market right now. So again, buyers have leverage. With that 5.5 months of inventory, it's a buyer's market. This allows you to go negotiate hard, and sellers on average are taking 4% off the sales price. That's just on average. Again, that's just what the data shows you. I'm not saying that every property is like that. Some of them are priced very correctly, priced very competitive, but on average, that's what's happening. This is the data within the past 12 months for the Pinetop, Arizona real estate market. And again, winter is the off season. Not a lot of people are selling homes. So you can save 20 to 30%. But wintertime's over. We're officially in spring right now. So we're going to slowly start to see those home prices selling for closer to what the asking price is. The window's open. but it's not quite as crazy. It's going to get until before summer or once it hits summer. But since we're right before it, this is a great opportunity to get in at a good deal. So there it is, spring ramp up. History says May to June ignites activity. That's one of the funnest things about real estate is we have data, we have trends, we can kind of see what markets do. And some markets are very steady, some are very up and down. Pinetop, Arizona is one of those up and down markets. It's very cyclical, it's very seasonal. And so right now, sellers are going to be pricing aggressively to beat that inventory surge, because this is when most people start to list their homes for sale. And so they know if they price them correctly, they're going to go fast. But if they price too high, they sit on market a little bit longer and they're just tougher to sell, which I think I have that data here next. But all right, anyway, so this is just kind of a quick little quote. If you've been priced out of Pinetop before, the window is open. I know so many people that once tried to, buy in that area in the summertime, and just same thing. There's a million other buyers, there were bidders. That's how it works in the summertime in that area. But as of right now, we are in the dip. So spring historically bounces prices back April through August. We are end of March right now. Your window is closing. The data is clear. Time is now. Get after it. All right. So if you know anyone that's watching the Pinetop market, tag them, let them know, send them this video. I'm going to be sending lots of different updates regarding the market, not just for Pinetop, but in the areas that I work in and the areas that I know well. Luckily, Pinetop is one of those. So if you would like more information on what the market's looking like, if you want a full comparative analysis report of the data so you can see a little bit deeper into what I showed you here in this video, just send me a message, DM me for the full report. Just, comment Pinetop, send me a DM that says Pinetop, and I'll know exactly what you're talking about. And I can send you all the details as far as the 12-month data, price maps, comparative analysis, the whole thing. And then be sure to follow me for more information, right? So I'm going to be sharing lots of all kinds of fun stuff when it comes to different markets. And I'm going to be sharing specific properties that I think are good deals. And so on my next one, I'm going to share one property that I think is just a phenomenal deal based on everything that we've been talking about today, right? With the current market, the way that it's going, we're going to see a little bit of a surge in Pinetop in the summer months. We're right before the spring buying season. So if you've been thinking about buying a house in Pinetop, whether it's a second home, investment property, or even just to fully escape the valley and get out into the nice winter or the nice pine trees of the White Mountains of Arizona, now is your opportunity. And I'd love to help you navigate that if you need a little bit of help. Again, I know that market super well as I own a home in that area, grew up around there. I currently live in the valley now, but I have got a lot of great information on anything you need. And I have access to the MLS, to all the data, and I'm happy to share it with anyone. So if you're thinking about it, stop thinking and just get after it. Now's your time. Don't miss your window.